Good. Seed and legume oils. Now you know legume is just a fancy word for bean, right? And we're told, you know, it's marketed under vegetable oils. That's what cracks me up. They're seeds and legumes. Vegetable oil. That means they can throw anything in there, all these, one time. Okay? All right, we clear on those? Soda and sugar, what is it? Well, that shouldn't even exist in your house, especially if you have a kid. If you have soda in your house, shame on you. No sugar. And it's loaded with carbonation, which carbonation leaches calcium out of your body. So if you're a woman and you're a little bit older and you're drinking carbonated beverages, you're throwing your calcium out the window. Okay? We're always fighting a dietary enemy, right? Sugar. And what do they put in Coke? They put acidic chemicals in there. That's why it gives you that little burn. Caramel colors and the flavorings, they're acids. So you just, there's the sixth worst food, soda. Okay? Dairy and soy, and we said meat and eggs from grain-fed animals. What is a big contradiction here, Doc? You're telling me I can eat all the eggs I want, and I can eat all the meat I want. I am, but it has to be grass-fed, because it's not fed what? Corn, wheat, soy, that have all been sprayed with GMOs, that have been genetically modified, that have all been sprayed with glyphosate or Roundup, and cause chronic systemic inflammation. That's why you pay a little more, but you get clean food. It's as simple. I'm going to tell you this every time I see it. Organic is clean, anything else is dirty. And the nice new word for dirty is what? Anybody remember? Conventional. You go to Whole Foods and they have it real nice. Conventional apples. Conventional grapes. Sounds cool, man. Conventional. Right? Why don't they have enough gumption to put on their clean or dirty? Get rid of the big O. People, oh, big O, they're inexpensive. Oh, you know. No, put clean or dirty. Just make it that simple for people. Clean, dirty. Which one you want? And you're talking about pennies. And prices will go down, guys, and I'm going to tell you how simple it is. Enough of those dirty products get thrown away. There's a computer that keeps track. We bought these apples and they didn't sell. And we bought these bananas and they didn't sell. And we bought these peaches and they didn't sell. And they didn't buy the strawberry and they didn't sell. Which one sold? The clean ones over here, the big O's. We better buy more O's and get rid of the other. Eventually, what are they going to do? Down south, it's happening. What's the chain? And it's happening like, I hate to say this, but like a little bit more affluent neighborhoods. You don't have to be filthy rich, but it's, I keep wanting to say Albertsons. It's not Albertsons. It's Publix. You ever hear of them?
With the X?
Yes. In Orlando, for example, they have the whole Publix that's all clean. And I think they're using it as an experiment. Why? Orlando is a growing, young, yuppie city, right? So they're trying it in the areas, and they're successful. And I know this for a fact because my dad used to work for them. He told me about it. Okay? All right, so if you send a message, there's a shelf life. You don't buy all these things that can sit on the shelf for 2, 4, 6 weeks with the margarines in them. And they start throwing them out. They do an inventory. What sold, what didn't. You better believe they're going to start, what? Replacing things. That's, you send the biggest message by not buying the product. Please do it. Please do it. And it will change. And as you, some of us are living around where I'm from, where I live, actually I'm from around here, you're seeing better and better choices with the big O and Arrow to Clean, right? Organic. True or true? And the only things that are still pricey, meats come way down. It's only maybe $1 more a pound for ground meat. Come on, $1 a pound. All right? Everything else is real similar. I can actually consistently get organic apples. I think I told you this before. Same price or below conventionals. I have to look. I keep looking. Now it's a joke. I show my wife. I show my mom. consistently. Okay? I am going to protest against one company, Driscoll's. Sells these big, gigantic, you need to know this, organic strawberries. They spray the ground and they get over that. It's not sprayed on the plant and it's still organic, which is a bunch of hooey. Don't buy them. And you don't want to buy fruits unless you're 100% that are porous. Peaches and strawberries are your two most porous fruits. Anything sprayed on them goes right into the entire flesh. So you're getting an industrial strength dose when you eat them. Please, don't eat them. Because I want them to get organic so I can just buy those. Okay? I got to have motivation here. But I want it good for my kids and their kids. And, you know, enough's enough. You guys didn't like my jokes, I'll move on. All right. Kind of serious joke. Okay. Disease versus health. Why do grains inflame? Why am I spending so much time on grains? They're everywhere. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere, correct? Here you go. Consider the fact that grains have been consumed for a short period of man's time on Earth. Use of grain products for food existed a brief 10,000 years out of the 2 million years in history of early man. This is when we developed all the diseases of modern civilization. And we can link it to 1900. Because grains initially were what? Designed for cattle. To fatten them up. They were grass-fed, then they're fattened up right before slaughter, because why? If you can get them fat, fast, that's where your profit is, right? And then we start saying, wait a minute. We start taking oatmeal and stuff to like India to feed the masses and saving them, right? Now look, if you want to save people's lives, you feed them any food. Let's get that straight. But you don't have to feed them dirty food. Then you start seeing how can we feed the masses cheaply? Where's the biggest profit? In flour-made items. That's why you see so many. Which has the best shelf life? Flour with the margarines and the trans fats. So it's the biggest profit. Okay? For example, you can make a pizza for about $1. How do I know? I know some of my patients that own a pizza place. Might be up to $2 now. Let's say it's $2. The average pizza is about $15 to $20, right? It's quick, it's fast, it's cheap. You get the point? And all these foods made from flour, tortillas at Taco Bell and buns at all the hamburger places, they're made cheap and fast. By the way, in the chains, specifically McDonald's, I noticed for a fact, there's plaster Paris in them. And that's why there is actually a burger that's over 13 years old that hasn't rotted yet, by the way. It's on the internet. And it hasn't gotten mold on the bread. And one of the reasons why is it's made with what? Plaster Paris. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay? Chicken McNuggets, by the way, are not chicken. You know what they mostly are? Corn. That's been GMO'd, that's been sprayed.
They changed that just recently.
Yeah, well, why? Because it's out now.
No, now
People
it's
know.
100%.
And sales are way down.
Now it's 100% artificial, they said.
Yeah?
Yeah. Used to be mostly artificial. now it's
See, they're still
100%.
making them because people are lining up for them left and right. Now look, you take, most in the chicken McNugget, by the way, is ground up waste products they used to throw away. Gizzard, skin. But it's mostly mixed with corn, and they throw sugar in there. Then they give you these, what, 3 different sauces or more? I don't even know. And what are they loaded with? Sugar. What else? Flour to thicken it. Monosodium glutamate, which is a known neurotoxin. Glutamate is a major neurotransmitter. Monosodium glutamate is very similar to glutamate. Cause your brain to fire, it's a feel-good food. Okay, that's why when you eat like one Dorito, you gotta eat like half a bag. Cause your brain keeps firing, makes you feel good, they know this. It's a neurotoxin, it burns your neurons aren't supposed to be firing that fast and that continuous. But you feel good and the taste is good and you put sugar and salt on them and you just shove them away. Watch how many people can only eat one Dorito. Put them out. Don't even buy them, but if you're at a party, just watch. There's nobody eats one. A reason. They got you hooked mentally. Unbelievable, isn't it? All right, so we're spending a lot of time on flour, wheat, all the grains. Grains are not what we're supposed to eat. Never were be. For 2 million years, man has been around. It's only in the last 10,000 that we started to cultivate them. In the last probably 50 years, we've gone nuts with them, especially the last 20 or 30. Okay? All right. Grains, refined sugar, partially hydrogenated fats, vegetable and seed oils, we talked about, were not consumed by humans. Humans are genetically adapted to eat fruits, vegetables, nuts, fish, fowl, meat foods, and not related to any chronic inflammatory disease. After grains were adapted as a staple of food that replaced animal proteins, a number of negative health outcomes occurred, including what? Increased infant mortality, reduced lifespan, increased infectious disease, increased iron deficiency anemia, increased number of dental caries and cavities, and increased osteoporosis, malacia, and bone disorders. Didn't we just go over most of those almost already? Grains kill. You'll hear me say, don't eat the whitey diet. Whitey means what? Flour. Anything that has white flour in it, you lose. You're going to be chronically systemically inflamed. Okay? All right, let's end on a positive note. Like I said, I have at least one more class, and it looks like the way it's shaping up, it's going to be 3. All right, 3 1 hours. Here's what we can do to start changing automatically. We already know grains is the enemy, right? Fried food, grains, sugar, refined oils. What oils are good for you? Let's make it real easy.
Coconut.
Palm.
And one more.
Palm coconut.
Okay, good. I'm just doing a little new mnemonic here. Coconut, com, mock, C-O-M, like .com. Coconut, olive, palm. Cop. Just remember cop. Make it really easy.
Palm cop, yeah.
Okay? If it's not cop, we're going to come up with goofy little things that work. You know my 7-Eleven rule, right? You do. It's corny, but it works. You're going to learn eventually over time, you're going to learn Godfather exercises. You're going to learn zombie stairs. All these little things, you're going to be laughing. Go ahead. It's corny, it's goofy, but you'll remember. And you're going to remember cop now, cop oils. Right?
Yep.
Because Volgraph's the cop of all the oils. There you go.